Hey there folks, Dr. Grimes here. I wanted to give you a quick intro into the summer semester of BUSA 6150 Human Resource Management. I really like this class because it really immerses you into what HR does. Most of us, especially those of us who haven't really interacted with HR a lot in the past, maybe who are just really getting started in the business world, think of HR as kind of the paper keepers and the organizational police, so to speak, but not a whole lot of value other than just the file holders. And in reality, HR does so much more than that. This course will give you a really deep dive into a number of things that HR does that may completely escape your radar. And if you are in HR, maybe you have your eyes opened a little bit as to some of the other things HR does that you haven't touched yet. But if you're not in HR, if you're looking at a management type of role, or maybe you're an accountant or something, you begin to see HR in a different perspective as a strategic resource to help you be better at what you do. Especially towards the management realm, there's so much interaction with people that human resources can make those interactions a whole lot better. It can keep them cleaner, it can keep them legal. So I hope that during the course of the semester, the shortened semester, that you'll learn an awful lot about HR, begin to build partnerships with people in HR that you can go to when you have questions or anxieties or troubles or things like that. And maybe even see if it's interesting enough to maybe one day look at stepping over into an HR role if one comes open, because it is something different every day. It deals with people. It's about encouraging them and getting them trained and helping them to become the best that they can possibly be so that the organization succeeds. It's an interesting blend of making sure that management is able to meet the objectives and the strategies of the organization, and at the same time helping employees grow and become what they can be. Sometimes those two are at odds, and HR works to make those two things line up and become synergistic. So this video is about the syllabus primarily, so you'll know what it is I'm expecting of you. The good news is that the semester only lasts about 7 effective weeks. The bad news is we got a lot to do in 7 weeks. In a normal semester, we cover a different function of HR every week for about 13 or 14 weeks. But in a shortened semester, we've got to cover 2 of those every single week. In a normal semester, we have discussion boards on those topics. You would, as a team, research a topic and then lead the discussion. But it's really unrealistic to expect 2 topics every week, having upwards of 200 posts that you need to read and digest and respond to. So we're not going to do discussion boards. I'm trying something a little different this semester that I hope goes well. I hope that it works to your advantage, being in a shortened semester. Another thing that we consider is that normally we feel real good if we've got 25 people in the class because there's good interaction. Even in a summer, 25 people allows you to do some discussion boards. But as of the time that I record this video, a good week before the semester even starts, we're up at 42 already, with some murmurings behind the scenes that we could end up close to 50, and that's just way too much discussion board, too much writing and papers and whatnot. So like I said, I'm trying something a little bit unique. If it works, I'll probably incorporate this into the full semester, not just the summer semester, so y'all are guinea pigs. What does that mean? It means you're going to be asked to do some things that you probably haven't done before, but it also means that since I don't know whether they're going to work or not, or be easy or not, or conducive to your schedules or not, I'm going to be a little bit more open in terms of how I grade them. I may adjust my expectations a little bit if I find that I'm a little bit too high and they're hard to meet. But we're going to challenge each other. You're going to challenge me to do a good job of facilitating your learning, and I'm going to do a good job of challenging you to expand, to manage your time well in a shortened semester, and to get all this done. Let me share my screen. Let me pull up the syllabus. I think I'm going to hit, I have options of camera and screen, or just screen. I think I'm going to do camera and screen. That will allow me to be back in the bottom corner, I think, as you look at this. Here's our syllabus. The way it stands today. Could be minor changes to it, but nothing major. The summer semester, here's our CRN. This is my cell phone number. I won't be in my office much during the summer, so you can kind of ignore this. If I'm in at all, it'll be during those hours, but don't expect it regularly. If you want to call me, this number goes to my office, but you might text me first and say, "Hey, are you at the office today?" I can say, "No, I'm at home," and then we can get on a video chat, or you can call me on my cell number. If I'm at the office, you can go ahead and call me on the office number, but check first. So what are we going to do here? We're really looking at the strategic value of human resources and the kinds of things that it is able to do to make you a better manager, how it has transitioned in the past from being those paper pushers into something that senior management sees as a critical part of growth. For the semester, you will not be buying a traditional textbook. You're going to be joining SHRM, the Society for Human Resource Management, as a student member. That is something like $40 or $45, less than the cost of a lot of textbooks, but it is good for a solid year. So once you get your membership, you get through the summer, you've still got 10 more months to reference SHRM. Once you get into it, you may check with the folks in your HR where you work and say, "Hey, are you members of this SHRM? Have you had access to this SHRM site?" And if they don't, you can become an instant celebrity. You can become the favorite person of human resources because you can help them get access to SHRM. Once you've gotten your student membership, I encourage you to go exploring a little bit. There is so much out there. Articles, video podcasts, teaching opportunities, sample forms, anything you can think of dealing with HR, because SHRM is a worldwide organization that consists of hundreds of thousands of people, maybe millions of people who do HR all the time, and they put information out there. It's not like a Wikipedia, but there's some similarities where people write little articles about what they've experienced and help each other learn and make decisions. So go ahead and get that student membership to SHRM. The good thing about this is that once you have gotten into the SHRM website, shrm.org, and you have paid that $40 or whatever dollar fee, you are instantly in SHRM. So you don't have to wait for a book to be delivered several days or whatever. Next thing that's important here is that in order to be marked as participating for enrollment verification purposes, there's two things that you have to do by Sunday night, the 13th, by 11:59 p.m. You're probably familiar with a Hello discussion board and the check-in quiz, and you're going to do variations of those. The check-in quiz just basically gives me your alternate email address like Gmail or Yahoo or something like that in case I need to reach you in emergency. If you don't check your radar address frequently, I can get you on Gmail. If you haven't shown up for several days or a week, or you've missed an assignment, I can reach out to you. I'm also going to ask for your cell phone number. Similarly, if you've missed an assignment or something, I can shoot you a text and say, "Hey, how's everything going on? Let me know." Make sure you get that check-in quiz done. But also, rather than a discussion board, I want you to record a short little video, 2 minutes, where you introduce yourself, tell me where you are, Ashburn or Charlotte or wherever, how far you are in the HR program, maybe just a couple of quick snippet facts about your family, what you do, so that we get to know you. And post the link to that, whether you put it on YouTube or however you do it. You post in the discussion board the link to that video. And once you have posted your link, I'm going to ask you to go out there and look at the videos of other people so you can get to know them a little bit. On mine, I've already done that. It is June the 1st as I record this. I loaded my intro video this morning, and I also put a picture of me out there so you can click on the video, watch it for 2.5 minutes or something, and then you can click on the picture and get a better idea of what I look like. And I'll encourage you to do that too. That's not mandatory to put the picture, but it certainly helps us to get a good idea of what you look like. The video that you create might have you a little further back from the camera, but hopefully the picture will give us a good idea of your face. Both of those things have to be done by midnight on Sunday the 13th. If you do one but not the other, I may not give you credit for participating in class, and you may be dropped. So make sure you do both. Moving into the requirements here, first of all, the schedule. You can see there's an 8-week semester. The first week is not a full week. It starts on Monday rather than Sunday. The 8th week is not a full week. It ends on like Thursday or something like that instead of Saturday. This week, you're going to get to know your teammates. All the work that you're going to be doing over the semester, you're going to be doing in teams of 6, maybe 7 if we have a few last-minute joins. But the first thing that you're going to do, the teammate activity that you see down here, is I'll post a list of the people who are in your team. And you, the very first week, while you're looking at the syllabus and getting familiar with the layout of SHRM, are going to be contacting your teammates, especially looking at their introductory videos. And you're going to start making contacts, swapping phone numbers, setting up your group meets or your FaceTimes or whatever it is you want to use to communicate. And by the end of the first week, you're going to have submitted something to a Dropbox, a document, or maybe just in the text submission part of the Dropbox, a list of the people in your team and a couple of facts about them that you found interesting that you've learned. The point of the first week is to start building a relationship with your teammates, to try to determine their strengths so that you'll know how you'll work together well in the future. That's really important because from the start of week number 2, you got 1 week to get to know them. From the start of week number 2, we are diving headfirst into the deep end on a lot of HR topics. Every team, I think right now there's going to be like 7 teams of 6 people each. All 7 teams in week 2 are going to be researching the generations in the workforce and the different cultures in the workforce. In week 3, recruiting or sourcing people, how to get people interested in your company to come apply, and then also interviewing and actually selecting the right people. So recruiting them and then interviewing them. In week 4, once they're hired, how we deliver training and development opportunities, how we give appraisals and give feedback. Week number 5, when we have to discipline them leading up to termination perhaps, is one topic. And then how we compensate them and create benefits for them is the second topic. In week number 6, unions and the problems they can cause, the value that they can create, and how HR can work with those, either to help create an environment where we don't see the need for unions or interact with the unions once we have them. And then legal, all of the different laws that are out there that dictate how we do things, discrimination laws, equal opportunity laws, anything that impacts the company that HR has to understand to be able to guide managers, so unions and legal things. And then the final week of learning deals with employee relations and employee rewards, how we interact with people, how we promote them and encourage them. And then the final topic is policies and some of the kinds of policies that we need in an organization to make it run right. So discrimination policies and harassment policies and different things like that. HR usually plays a pretty key role in writing those policies. And even if management writes a policy, HR plays a big role in training people to understand that policy. So as you see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. Each week there are 2 major topics that you are going to be researching as a team. And this is where it gets a little bit complicated here. Let's jump down to the grading criteria. The 2 check-in activities are worth 25 points. Your video is worth 20, and your check-in quiz is worth 5. Those 25 points come to 5% of your total grade. It's not going to be hard for you to get all 25 of those points if you simply do them, and that's 5% of your grade. Your teammate activity is worth 50 points, and that's 5% of your grade, giving me a few things that you've learned about your teammates to illustrate to me that you've spent some time talking to them. This may be round-robin conversations, or maybe you start all off and let's all get on a video call together and learn about each other and then go back and type up what we learned. Topic videos and topic contributions. For week number 2, your team is going to be looking at the generations in the workforce and the cultures in the workforce. And my vision of this for the semester is that you're going, for each topic, you're going to agree on a spokesperson. And as a team, you will have 6 people, you will have 12 topics. So each person will be the spokesperson for 2 topics during the semester. It may be one from week 2 and one from week 5. It could be that you choose to be the spokesperson for both topics on team 2 and you're done with the team leadership role for the rest of the semester. But you will be responsible as an individual for being the champion on 2 topics. So in week number 2, All of you will work together as a team to research the generations and figure out what's important to a typical manager to try to understand the different generations, what they bring to the table, what they expect in return, what makes them different, how they communicate, what they value, so that as an organization, as an HR personnel, you know how to work with different people. Not everybody thinks the way a 50-year-old does. Not everybody thinks the way a 22-year-old does. So what do we do with all these generations, with all these cultures? Now, during the week, you will research as a team with the idea that from our group, 6 of us or 7 of us are researching with the goal that Melissa is going to be able to put together a 4-minute video on our team's behalf that talks about what we've learned and what's important. And during the week, y'all are contributing ideas. You're maybe helping Melissa come up with a script or a PowerPoint or whatever the case may be. By Sunday night, you start on the 13th. By Sunday night, the 20th, those of you who are not Melissa, who are not the lead on this particular topic, 7 of you in all, 6 of you will submit a file to Topic Contributions Dropbox, listing the names of your people and what they did to help Melissa get that final product together. And if somebody didn't help as much, you tell me that honestly. Don't get your feelings hurt if somebody says, I don't think that Johnny really helped an awful lot this week. Johnny, you may down deep realize you didn't do as much as them. If several people mention Johnny didn't do as much to help this week, Johnny won't get quite as good a grade. That's fair. So 6 of you will submit a topic contributions file where you list the people and what they did to help. Melissa, on the other hand, will not submit that file. She'll get a 0 for topic contributions. Instead, Melissa will record a video, kind of like you're doing for your hello, that's going to last about 4 minutes, where Melissa talks about generations and how the organization deals with the different generations and what you've learned. And the content can be up to your team and ultimately up to Melissa. Melissa's going to get graded on the video. The rest of you won't. The rest of you are going to get graded on the contributions. So part of Melissa's role is to give me a link to a video and also tell me if she thinks that anybody in the team didn't help much. Because ultimately, her grade is on the line. And if you guys don't help her get her video the way she wants it, then you're partially to blame for that. That's the way it works in the real world. So every week there's 2 topics, probably 2 different leaders. All of you are working with those 2 leaders to help them develop a good video. Only the leader appears in the video. I'm not interested in you sharing screen. I'm not interested in you sharing PowerPoints. I'm just interested in you looking at the camera like I'm doing now and talking to me about what you learned or uncovered in your research about that topic. So at the end of the week, by Sunday night, 6 of you submit the contributions file with information about your team and what they did. Those 6 of you will submit nothing under the topic video category. When I go into grade, I'll give you as many as 10 points on the contributions file, and I'll give you a 0 on the video because you didn't do the video, somebody else did. Now notice in the grading here, there are 12 videos. You're going to get a 0 on 10 of them, and you're going to get a grade on 2 of them, but we're going to drop the 10 zeros. So it's only 50 points per video, so you only get graded on 100 points, the 2 that you do. If you are doing the video, you'll submit a file to videos, a link, but you won't submit anything to contributions. And you'll get a grade of up to 50 on the topic video, and you'll get a 0 on the contribution. But there's 2 weeks that you're getting the video, not the contribution, and you'll get dropped those 2 contributions. So at 10 apiece, there's 12 of them. You'll have 10 grades and 2 zeros. We drop the 2 zeros, totals out to 100 points. Notice on the topic videos, this is the confusing part. Perhaps you might watch this 2 or 3 times, and we may even have some discussion going on one of the discussion boards to confirm this. There are 12 videos. You, Johnny, will do 2 of them. on behalf of your team. So you'll get 2 grades up to 50 points apiece. The other 10 will be zeros because you didn't produce the video, and we'll drop those 10. So you end up with 2 times 50, 100 points, and that is weighted at 20% of your grade. On the 10 topics that you don't do the video, you'll submit a file with the contributions of the rest of the team. They're 10 points apiece. We drop the 2 zeros when you did the video, so you end up with 10 grades, up to 10 apiece, 100 points. That's also 20% of your grade. So the videos are 20%, the contributions are 20%, but it's a different kind of thing in order to determine how many of those points you get. All right, so in the middle of week number 1, I'm also going to introduce some information about something that I call an HR video. The short version of that is that you're going to pick somebody who works in HR, preferably where you work right now. If you don't have an HR person, or if you're not working right now, maybe talk to mom or dad and say, is there somebody in HR where you work that I could get in touch with and interview over the phone for 20 or 30 minutes? What you're going to want to do from that is create about a 3-minute video where you talk about that person, talk about what they do in HR, what they like about that HR, and why they would say that HR is a good career. That video is worth up to 100 points, and it's 15% of your grade. All right, then on the second week, as you're starting to do these topical videos and you're thinking about your HR person videos, I'm going to introduce to you the project for the semester. And the first thing you do is to create a concept. That gets a little bit convoluted, so I'm not going to say much about it here. The concept is a quick 1-page document where you talk about a scenario, you talk about what the problem is with that scenario, and then you talk about why HR needs to be involved in fixing that problem. Again, much more later. That project concept is worth 25 points. You'll do it as a group. That's what the I, individual, and G, group is here. 5% of your grade is how well you do that concept. At the end of the semester, you're going to make recommendations related to that project concept. And more information to come, but the project worth 100 points. You do it as a group, and 20% of your grade comes from that. The final is a very short little memo that you're going to write on a topic that I give to you, maybe a page or a page and a half, and it's worth 10% of your grade, 100 points, as an individual activity. So it's a blend this semester of group activities, individual activities. Almost everything is video based. It is a whole lot easier for me to watch a 4-minute video than to read a 3-page paper, especially when I've got 7 5-minute videos versus 42 3-page papers. So I'm trying to do this in a way that not everybody has to get full involved. Every single week you'll be actively involved researching 2 topics, but theoretically, ideally, only 2 weeks out of 6 do you actually have to create a video. So you're helping your teammates more than you're actually doing anything. When it's your turn to create the video, you want your teammates playing a really heavy role, so you're going to play that same heavy role for them. You're going to learn while you're helping to research. You're actually going to learn more when you create the video. That's the way the structure of the class is going to be. You can scroll further down here if you want a little bit more information about these things. During this semester, I'll probably have some discussion boards going, maybe have another video or 2 where I talk about some of these things to help you get a good vision of it. Toward the bottom here, since everything is weighted, you're just going to have to get 90 points after everything gets added together in a weighted basis. Maybe we can talk about how those things work, how that weighting works in another video sometime later. Log in regularly. You may have other communication forms with your team, like Snapchat or GroupMe or whatever, so you don't have to have discussion boards here. You may text each other a lot. You may set up regular video calls to keep updated on what's going on. But check into our class at least once a day. If you miss a couple of days, no big deal, but if I put a note out there, you'll want to see it as soon as possible. So nothing in the grading about having to log in 4 times a week. You can get by logging in once a week to turn in stuff if you want to, but just make sure that you're aware of any important announcements. Very fixed deadlines. Got all week to work on stuff. Only an emergency should cause you to turn in something late. So try not to do anything late. If you see where it's going to be late, it's coming up, it's supposed to be, the contribution file is supposed to be in Sunday, and something has happened on Saturday, shoot me an email or a text and let me know what's going on. I might have this Monday or Tuesday. If you let me know ahead of time, we'll work with it. Or the video, when you're in charge of the video, is not due until Monday night. So if the weekend gets really hairy, you can send me a note saying, listen, it would really help me a lot with what's going on if I could have until Tuesday or Wednesday, and we can probably work that as well. But please try to let me know ahead of time what's going on so that we can make adjustments. Only other thing on here is that the calendar for the course, I've got the standard GSW things. I also tried in bold to put in information about when grading components are due for the class. Now, let me go back to the original screen. 25 minutes you've been listening to this. I hope you got a pretty good idea. Like I said, it's really, really innovative to me as I think about a semester where you really don't write much. You do a lot of work, but you do a lot of videos. It is scary to me to have to do the level of grading feedback on 42 to 50 three-page papers on each topic twice a week. That's a by the end of the semester, I've read thousands of pages of papers, and I just physically can't do that. Emotionally, intellectually do that. I can watch a number of videos because I can take quick breaks, and when I watch a 5-minute video, I can knock 7 grades out at one time. So it's a good investment on my time. Again, what you'll want to do to prepare for this, once you find out who's in your group, and I'm going to try to create groups where there are some people about to graduate, a couple of people who are just getting started, a blend of male and female, a blend of ages. I'm going to try my best to make sure that you're in people that are reasonably close to you. Just first glance at the roster tells me that there's 4 or 5 people in California, and it'd be great if you all were in the same team because you're on the same time zone, and it's easier for you to get their calendars together. So I'm going to assign the teams. Those of you who are in your 8th or 10th class, I'm going to expect you to kind of take some of the 1 and 2 class people under your wings, teach them about the program, teach them how to succeed in some of the classes, maybe even on side conversations, be careful when you take this person is the only one who teaches this class, but this is what they expect and this is what you need to do. And use it as a buddy mentor system to help folks grow. When you get your list, immediately start trying to get in contact with them. Send them an email through GeorgeView and swap up phone numbers and start building your group meets and things like that. Immediately look over the topics and say, I've got some experience with this. I'd be willing to do the video on this one. Okay, great. Who wants to do the video on that one? If somebody wants to do both videos the same week, be done with it, and everybody's okay with that, let it happen. But you might want to do a video every 3 weeks so you got a little bit of rest time in between. And work well as a team. Give it 100%, even if you're not doing the video, so that you can expect to get 100% from them when they're not. All right, that's it for now. I'm going to let it end. If you have questions, go to the Ask Dr. Grimes discussion board, shoot me a text message, send me an email, whatever the case may be. Hope you understand what we're looking for. Hope you understand that there's a tremendous amount of work in a short period of time, which is typical of summer. I hope it doesn't butt heads with other classes you're taking, but it's summer. It is what it is. We've got to make sure that our topic that we're passionate about gets covered fully in your activity, in your experience, so that you learn the important things about this topic, which is part of your MBA program. All right, going to let you go for now. Get in touch with me if you have questions. Looking forward to seeing you. Bye.